Welcome to TraneWreck'D. This is August 20 something or other. I don't know. I think it's the 6th. I don't care. Anyway, welcome to TraneWreck'D. I am Coltrane, your host. And even though I told my crew that the entrance was going to be a little shorter and to be prepared, I was almost picking my nose. Anyway, let's bring in some help here because otherwise I'll just sit here looking stupid all night like this. So let's bring in right-hand lady, Shellium.
Hello.
And let's bring in, she's going to act like she's been in studio all day, but she just got done chugging to her desk and is out of breath, JJ.
Stepping over dogs and shit. Yeah.
I heard that bark before I put you. Are my peas coming off too puppy?
Nope.
Okay, because I finally put one of those these little foam things on there. I was recording yesterday, and like I nailed all of them. I went back and listened to them. I was like,
beatboxing.
So, pretty much. But I mean, I showed them there's a way that you can fix that. It's just a big pain in the ass. But anyways, welcome to our show. Today, we're going to be talking about the dogs of Overtoun Bridge. It's a very, very fucking bizarre story. As well as being your authentic self and how to basically save your own mental health by knowing what compartments to put people in. And I have a few tests that I've been doing throughout the year. And some of the results are going to be pretty goddamn. It's pretty much what I expected because I've been into psychology for about 20 years now. But still, I don't know why human psychology still tends to shock me sometimes. Anyways, JJ, what's going down in the streets of whatever little hillbilly town you live in Nebraska?
Oh, not too much. Knock it off.
Already. Like mama right there.
Rolling around. Just, just trying to kill each other. It's like, knock it off. A little afraid. My cane corso bit my neighbor the other day.
Oh, no.
He bit his finger and he had to get 6 stitches. He got away and I don't know how. I wasn't here. And he was in my neighbor's garage and my neighbor came in and on his riding lawnmower, and Deems doesn't like vacuum cleaners, air dryers, that noise drives him crazy.
Industrial sounding noise.
Yeah, and he reached out. He was like, "What are you doing?" And went to pet him because he knows him, and he fucking bit him.
Wow.
So I mean, my neighbor is like upper 70s. So I felt so horrible, and I still do. He's vaccinated and everything, but the sheriff had to come out. And you remember when I told you guys they were deemed dangerous for eating a duck?
Yeah.
That
the duck story.
That actually only lasted for a year, so they're no longer deemed dangerous. So I'm just praying that they don't come knock on my door and say, "Okay, we have to take the dog."
Yeah.
Because Lynn, my neighbor, didn't want anything done with it. He says that he was just scared. He was, I caught him off guard. Maybe he thought he was pinned, and he's a good dog most of the time.
Hey, Kung Fu.
Hey, Kung Fu.
So that's going on. It's starting to get cooler here, which yay.
Wish I could say that.
Yeah.
But the minute it starts to get cooler, it starts to happen.
People like to
Yeah. Shit, we don't see no more.
I'm like, don't get so cool yet. Like, it did get up to 80 degrees today, but I think that's going to be about it for the next couple of weeks. We'll linger right there in the 80s and stuff.
Wow.
It got down to the 90s for a bit, but unfortunately, it had to take a storm to get us there.
I like
Yeah.
that. It got down to
Right.
Right.
No, we had
Well,
a
we had broke another damn record for
yes.
days in a row of triple digits. No, not even triple digits, over 110, which is that's between
stupid.
triple digits, over 110, over 115. Those are all, statutes that we live by now.
Yeah.
Those are all inhumane conditions.
It
It
is.
is. I was talking to somebody and I said, in Nebraska, when it got too cold or there was too much snow or too much ice, then the schools were closed, right?
Right.
Whereas here, we can have excessive heat warnings with 120 degrees, and these kids are still required to walk from building to building in these outdoor classes, which is asinine.
That
It's
Shit,
not
remember the
healthy.
first 4 weeks of school in Nebraska, we were like out of school 2 hours early because the air conditioning wasn't enough to
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
cool our
those
punk
days.
asses down.
I remember that.
We've had
Mhm.
two big monsoons over the last week and a half.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Structural damage on the damn carport.
carport, yep.
Well, luckily
It's
it's
leaning.
it can be fixed, but it's just such a fucking pain in the ass. Like every time I put a whole bunch of work into a project, literally within about a couple of weeks, a surprise storm comes out that has like micro bursts and tornadoes and shit. And it's just like, just like my shit like all fucked up. Our greenhouses are still standing,
Well,
and it's
that's
still standing, but it's just leaning to one side because I
Mhm.
have a shitload of tethers and ropes and all because it would have fell otherwise. And
One of the TVs in there
front,
got damaged.
yeah, it was old. It was
one of the
13 years
what
old anyway. The TVs,
that you have outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it was old, so it was like 15 years old, probably coming up on being raggedy anyway. But yeah, and part of the roof, like where you first walk in, the roof is like tore off, so I had to drape a piece of tarp over that. Me and Gabby and Shell were out there like looking like on what's that show about the crab fishermen?
Oh, the
The
tuna
Biggest Catch.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when they're in the middle of storms and shit, and they're all dying and getting wet.
What
And then
does it,
what was it
what does it look
yesterday?
like?
Was that?
What does it look like? I mean, is it?
It's like a giant gray tent that's 20 by 10 feet.
Oh no, I meant the storm.
It's
Oh,
like
Is it
buckets
just
of
like
rain just pouring
it
down
just
and
poured.
winds of like 60 to 90
You know
miles an
what?
hour winds.
Let me kick out for a minute because I'm going to get the video of what actually rolled into town.
Okay, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it actually made the news.
And is it like red dirt? Because that's what I saw when I was there. Was mostly red dirt.
No, I mean,
No.
it's mainly it's dirt, obviously, or mud that's flying around, but there were like mesquite trees that have been around for 60 plus years, if not longer, that were completely uprooted. It's, I mean, almost like a tornado.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There was, we were watching the news and the news lady was standing in front of what used to be a brick wall that was completely destroyed. And if I heard it correctly, she said that a tree had landed on it, but it still exposed the backyard of two houses. You could see that one of the houses had a pool, but I mean, it was completely demolished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like the Kool-Aid man just came in and just pounded right through it.
That's a good visual. See, I can work with that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. And it happens just like that. I mean, just like literally like a tornado. I mean, it happens so quickly. You get this siren thing on your phone, and then within maybe an hour, it's gone.
That is insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, weather,
Yeah. Yep.
Of course, it's going to be weather, just like here we get stuff and people probably think you lived through that.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the other hard part is, when it's torrential downpours, we don't have drainage like in Nebraska. So we have standing water. And that's the other hard part is it can be standing water in the middle of a busy street,
Oh.
So Yeah.
See,
It's
I didn't
crazy.
pay attention to that.
Yep.
That's where you get all that green grass that
Yep.
all kind of goes down
Exactly.
with something. Okay.
Yep. And that's why, like if you're driving in the neighborhood, we have the little divots. I don't know if you remember when we were driving in our neighborhood, there's like a little divot in the road. Well, that's to help to slow the water flow so it doesn't flood out the houses.
Oh, okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
here I thought they were speed bumps.
Yeah.
I did. I was really like, why are there so many?
Right? Do people not know how to drive?
Right.
Well, yeah, but it's also for the torrential downpours. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, just different things that you have to get used to living in different climates, because I was talking to one of my friends who lives in Dublin and in Ireland, and she was saying that it was, what time was it? It was 9 a.m. my time. So it was 4:30 p.m. her time. And I was telling her about they call them haboobs here. I don't remember what it's for. But anyway, she was saying that it was raining, like lightly raining, but the sun was out. But it rains there all the time. But it's not torrential rain. It's just light rain.
All right, here's a time lapse of what we went through. Was it 2 days ago? Yesterday? 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
All right, well, here it is.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Welcome to Phoenix. There is another view too.
So what does it take? Oof. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
What does it take for your kids to actually be called out of school?
Oh God.
I have no idea. We've been called out.
They've never been.
Here is the view from Sky Harbor Airport. Imagine as you flying in, seeing this shit coming.
Hell no. And they were taken off in that weather?
No, they grounded the flights once this came up, but yeah, see that flight came back.
Yeah.
This is during the day, by the way.
I was gonna say, why did it get so dark? Is that because of the dirt, or is that because?
Yeah, because the sky gets so black.
Sky gets so black, and what it is the sand. We're in the desert, so basically the wind starts, from California and just picks up and picks up and picks up, and it's just like a big avalanche, and that's what hits. It just looks like Armageddon, and you can hear all the individual grains hitting the windows and shit.
Yeah, and it sounds like hail.
Yeah, and I got trapped out in it because we had got another weather alert. And so I was like, okay, I got about a half hour to get out there and fix this shit. I had just got the final knot, and wind burst just came and just started shaking. I mean, it was like I was in the middle, like in a ship in the middle of the ocean. The entire thing is just like swaying back and forth, ceiling fans and shit. And just, it was scary. Oh. Some of the water was coming in sideways. So I'm trying to hang on to this bar to keep the thing from tipping over. This wind gust, this microburst was so hard that it knocked me off my feet. And the news the next day said that some of those gusts got as high as 80 miles an hour. So it was just like 80 miles an hour of just getting punched. Like they would just hit and then turn into like light wind, then just hit. Like it just comes out of nowhere. Today, I said we are going to talk about a very weird story called the Overtoun Bridge dogs. And it's not only dogs, but it's people. And it's over there in Scotland. And it seems to have some kind of hypnotic effect on critters. Let's see what we're talking about. Some places are beautiful. Until you realize they have a body count. Today on TraneWreck'D, we crossed one of the most picturesque bridges in Scotland. Place that seems to call dogs to their death. Why are man's best friends leaping to their doom from the Overtoun Bridge? Coincidence? Science? Or is something darker lurking beneath the surface? Stay close and keep your dog on a leash. This is going to get weird. Overtoun Bridge sits just outside Dumbarton, Scotland, a serene, almost storybook place. Stone arches, green hills, a bubbling stream below. Idyllic, right? Until you hear the stories. Since the 1950s, reports began surfacing of dogs inexplicably jumping off this bridge. Not once, not twice. We're talking over 300 dogs. Some sources say the number is closer to 600. And many of them didn't survive the 50-foot drop. What's stranger? It's almost always the same type of dog. Long-nosed breeds, like Labradors, Collies, and Retrievers. Those are the ones that seem most affected. Locals began whispering that the bridge was cursed, that the dogs weren't falling, they were being called. Witnesses say their dogs walked calmly across the bridge until they reached one specific spot between the last two parapets on the right-hand side. Then, without warning, they leap. Owners describe their pets as if they're hypnotized or possessed in that moment. No hesitation, no stopping. Some dogs who survive the fall, they climbed back up and jumped again. One man, David Sands, a psychologist who specializes in animal behavior, investigated the phenomenon. He called it, quote, one of the strangest things I've ever encountered, end quote. Could it be the bridge's architecture? Maybe it's the scent of small mammals. Could it be something supernatural? Let's peel this back. I like how the scientist had that very, very scientific, it's stranger than anything I've ever seen. That was the official quote.
Did it look
Why I actually put
like,
it up there.
why am I drawing a blank? Breaking Bad. He reminds me of the guy that the main character of Breaking Bad before he went bald.
Before he became
Who reminds you?
The scientist guy.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Hey, what's up, Gonzo? Good to see you. And no, I can't say that name twice fast. Should have heard. If I told you how many
Gonzo.
times I had to say that name and edit it in there. The first time I nailed it, but the shit I said around it was all fumbly. So I should have just cut that out and did it, but I didn't.
I'm baffled.
Yeah.
But
And if they survive, they come up and finish off the job.
Right?
yeah, and then they come back up and jump again. Like, what is happening?
It's for real. And I think it's a good time to say, if you or somebody you know is having any trouble and you feel like you might be going across this bridge, please call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Hotline, or if you want to go the long route, 988lifeline.org/chat. They're there for you for anything you may need. If you're a person of color, indigenous, black, gay, if you're of any kind of, what would you call them?
Non-white.
Yeah, there you go.
Non-white.
You can call the Black Line at 800-604-5841. It's a peer support group for, pretty much anybody, LGBTQ, black, female, you see down there BIPOC, which is black, indigenous, people of color, all that, for us, by us. So yeah, and in the happiness part of the month, it is Black Business Month.
Yay.
Immunization Month. Get them shots. Quit being a dumbass. National Happiness Happens Month. You got to make it. And Romance Awareness Month. So grab your sweetie and give her a doodad for her hat. You say stupid shit like that. Get her a ribbon for her hair. If you're watching us on YouTube, you already know that there is a subscription button down on the bottom right-hand corner. It is a square with a triangle inside of it. If you hover your arrow over that and hit the button, you will be subscribed. Ever since I started begging online, we have picked up a whopping 2 extra subscribers, which is actually kind of cool. So we're at 175. Our goal is 200. And if we can get there, then those first 200 people will be the day one dogs, which means you always have discounts to whatever will be on sale, access to shit that everybody else will have to pay for, and all kind of various goodies. So if you are not on YouTube right now and you would like to be part of that, just go ahead and take your camera flash photography device on your phone. Go ahead and click that QR code. It'll take you right there. If you feel like you'd rather talk to our producer, Christy, she is on Instagram. And that is TraneWreck'D_, TraneWreck_D on Instagram. Or just go ahead and click that. I don't know what the hell happened to my QR code for Facebook, but if you're on there, you already know where I am. And if you're not on there, just look for Coltrane or Jason Tibbs is under both. So I'm trying to find the picture so I can get rid of it. There we go. Going on in the world today is just a whole bunch of crazy shit. I mean, people vote for, things that look like this. There's this going on in the world. There's this nonsense. This is, I showed this last week. This was me as a kid. Like, the Pledge of Allegiance was always bizarre to me. Like, it's the same way I started feeling some kind of way about religion, because I grew up Catholic. And there was just one day where I can't remember if it was a wedding or what it was, but I was, as everybody drones on and, the call and repeat, and it's just, Lord, hear our prayer, and it's just really Gregorian. I just happened to be looking around and everybody was just looking dead ahead, eyes wide open, droning the same melody. And it freaked me out, because it was like, this is very cult-like. This is this guy calls out. They're responding in a like way that doesn't, deviate from any kind of normalcy, for them. Like, it's to them, that shit is normal. But when you finally snap out of it, it's just like, oh God,
Yep.
And you
Peace
start
be with you, and also with you.
and also with you.
Yeah.
And as I'm around, society and everything like that, it's the ones that are so religious and so evangelical are the ones that are the biggest dicks. The biggest judgers, the biggest hypocrites. I mean, think about this. How big of stones do you have to believe that an entire nation of people, tribe of people, or whatever aren't living their best life because they don't believe the shit you believe in, even though they're over there living in paradise? You feel the need to bring your ass over there and try to convert them because they're living like savages.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's some ballsy shit right there. Remember that? And call me evil if you want to, but I laughed my ass off. Remember that young ass Christian motherfucker that thought it was a good idea to go over to that remote island where I think people haven't been to that island in many, 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 many years. And within minutes of his ass getting up to shore, they already had him on a stick, like dead, heading to the fire. Yeah, they like speared and arrowed his ass quick.
Well, yeah, because he went over there with the intent of trying to convert all those people to what
and all they
he
see is
believed in.
some ghostly looking motherfucker they ain't never seen in their lives.
Right.
Because again, this is a remote island where people just don't fuck with.
They're living happy
there.
And
yeah, they're living their lives. They're happy. And even if they ain't happy, they ain't bothering nobody.
Right.
But yeah, just the gall it takes to be like, you're not like me, so therefore your life isn't good enough. We'll talk about a little bit more of that shit later on, because other people on this show know some shit that's going on, but I know a little bit more. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Nobody else does. Let's go to part 2. But before we do, I do want to remind everybody that not on this show, on Kenny Boland's show tomorrow, and I will put a QR code up in a little bit because I forgot to make one, so I'll make one during a break real quick. But tomorrow, special start time, 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the Star Maker. We'll have Anthony Scaramucci. Possibly we might have Mark Cuban. And we will have the father of Never Seen, number 17, the 17-time heavyweight champion of the world, John Cena Sr. Da 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 da, and Bob and me. So
And the rest.
So yeah, we will be on live tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It is for the people of the Philippines. We are doing a fundraiser. And how cool is it to talk to Anthony Scaramucci, the guy that was basically Trump's right-hand man until he realized that he was a fat, disgusting idiot and got away from that. Matter of fact, if you look behind me, his book, Wall Street from the White House and Back, is it's a very good read.
Mhm.
And the cracks he gets in on Trump was because the man was right there. And I'll just give you a little bit about something something he said in the book, that to to explain foreign affairs to him, you have to do it in a way of wrestling. The Undertaker is this country, and this country's the Big Show, and this country's John Cena. So John Cena's mad at Big Show for something. I mean, they had to break it down like that to this grown ass man. And when it would start going over his head, or he was just done, he's like, that's enough of that. Yeah, they're heading over to the country. They're in Air Force One.
Oh my God.
And he just don't feel like talking about it anymore. He wants to get some McDonald's and some Diet Coke. See if Kenny can shake these 2 billionaires down for some donation. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why it's a 501c now, because now they can easily donate without any issues, and it is a legit 501c. I get all the paperwork, I get all the receipts, I am part of it. So anyway, that will be going on tomorrow. Subscribe, and if you want to, hey Billy, how's it going?
Hey,
Billy.
If you want to ask questions, I believe it is a donation of $2 or $5. I can't remember, but your question will get answered. If you just want to hang out and watch, then do that too. But do join us at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow on the Star Maker Bowling Show. And like I said, I'll get that address up before the end of the show. What else was I going to show you before we go in there? Oh, yeah, this. As you know, things have just been going crazy lately all over the country. And the prevailing thought is, hey, let's release the National Guard on our own citizens, which A, is unconstitutional, and B, just ain't going to work. This motherfucker has just said that bad things will happen to anyone who disagrees with him. This is an article. This isn't a meme I made. This is our president.
What
Good
is
Lord.
wrong with that dude?
He's deranged.
Mhm.
And if you have you been looking at his health lately? Like, have you seen what his hands look like and his swollen ass ankles?
Yep.
And
No.
his blotchy skin? He has all the symptoms of syphilis and heart failure. And he's not a healthy man. But what I don't understand is he's going to be 80 in no time. But Biden was too old. He was 2 feet.
Yeah, Biden.
Biden had a few glitches. I ain't gonna lie, but this motherfucker, he'll stand up there and forget what the fuck he's talking about, or call people names that ain't their names, countries that ain't countries. The country of Mattel will never sell toys to the U.S. again.
Country of Mattel.
Because Mattel wasn't going to, agree with his sanctions and his the tariffs and all that. He said, well, good luck importing toys into the U.S. now. So the country of Mattel is going to get 50% tariffs, I believe. That's what he said. And here's
that's
something
just as bad as saying he spoke to the president of Puerto Rico today. Or no, was it the Dominican Republican? Whatever it was. He said he spoke to the president. So you were looking in the mirror.
Right, exactly. I was going to say that they are a U.S.
Like, did you miss something, buddy?
There's a lot of things that he just doesn't know that a basic junior state congressman should know the shit that he doesn't know.
Right.
I mean, it's embarrassing. I wholeheartedly agree with Cindy here. She's always been one of my favorite singers. You know, where I come from, you see family and friends, civil rights being taken away. No, that's a terrible accent. Speak up and do everything you do to keep that from happening. And that's pretty much been my whole life. You've seen I will step in front of somebody to protect them, especially against bullying or any kind of shit like that. Hey, Steven, been a minute. How you doing? One more, excuse me. One other thing I want to show you guys, I keep forgetting to pull up, is I want you to think about somebody in your life that's like 69, 70, 71, how active they are, how lively they are, like your aunts or, whatever. As you think about that, tell your kids about Ruby Ridges.
Right.
Yeah.
She was the first Black child in an all-white public school in Louisiana, and she turned 70 this year. 70.
Yeah.
As people like to tell me about how, like, oh, why is it always about race? Well, that's why.
Because it is.
Exactly.
It is. We don't do that.
This was said to Charles Schultz in 1968. I don't mind you having a Black character, but please don't show them in school together.
Oh my God.
Where he said either you print it just this way or the way I draw it or I quit. How's that? See, he gave him the how about that. And something else about, white folks that I don't really get is like, especially if one of them is with someone of color, they have the nerve to be worrying about what the baby's going to look like. Especially when you look like this.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Remember when Meghan Markle was about to have that baby and these motherfuckers were worried about how dark it was going to be? Crypt keeper up in the right corner. Who the hell is that down in the bottom left?
I don't.
With the
Is it one of those Stephanie?
I don't know, but she's not attractive.
No,
not at all.
But yeah, those are the ones that want to be talking shit about your looks. So.
Yeah, because they had incest in that bloodline.
Oh yeah, the Royals are some incesting motherfuckers. Like that's why. You know what, you guys? I will plug the show. I normally don't want to plug anybody else, but UK Horrible History on Hulu.
Yes.
UK Horrible History, United Kingdom. That shit is funny. And it's only about 20 minutes long. And it's all like, it's kind of Saturday Night Live with skits and shit like that. But it's all true shit that happened. That's so unbelievable that it's like, you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
They have a section called, what was it? Dumb Deaths or something like that.
Yeah. Stupid deaths.
Yeah, Stupid Deaths. That's what it's called. But yeah, they what it is this guy that looks like the crypt keeper with a weave. He's basically the way you get into heaven or hell or wherever. And so you have to tell him the story of how you die. And if it's stupid enough, you get to pass on through. So it's funny. But yeah, UK Horrible History. Speaking of horrible, let's get back to this weird ass story where dogs seem to be wanting to just not only try to off themselves, but if they don't do it right the first time, they take care of it again. Here's where things get dark. Some locals believe the bridge is a, quote, thin place, a Celtic concept referring to spots where the boundary between this world and the next world is razor thin. Some whisper the area is haunted by the, quote, White Lady of Overtoun, unquote, the grief-stricken widow of the man who once owned the Overtoun house near the bridge. There are even stories of people, humans, jumping to their death from the same spot on the bridge. In fact, in 1994, a man tragically threw his infant son from the bridge, claiming the child was the Antichrist. Moments later, the man attempted to jump himself. Locals say the bridge has a dark energy that whispers to the vulnerable, and that some dogs are more sensitive to this unseen force. Science can explain a lot, but can it explain all of it?
That is creepy.
Here you go, that crazy religious shit again. How many parents have we heard in the news, like over the past, 20 years? That's either drowned, burned, choked, or, ran over their babies in the name of God.
Way too many.
Yeah.
Remember that one bitch that tried to blame the black dude in South Carolina?
There's been a couple of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and see, that's the other thing. Like, why is it always about race? Because that's usually who the scapegoat is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember, did you ever watch City Confidential? I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
With what the hell is his name? The host.
I can't remember his name.
Paul Winfield. You remember him, don't
I
you?
don't know. I
You
don't
don't
know.
remember Paul Winfield? Okay, remember 227?
Yes.
Okay, that raggedy ass pastor that was like in the last season that lived upstairs, and he was kind of effeminate, but he
Oh,
was a dickhead.
I'm gonna look him up because I don't know who he is.
Night, Billy. All right, let me pull him up here. Yeah, Paul Winfield is his name, but he's the one that does the voiceover for City Confidential, and he always says murder. It brought you to murder. But yeah, so City Confidential had this thing
Oh,
back
that
in
guy.
'86 where in Boston, can't remember if somebody got kidnapped or beat up or what it was, but they just casually blamed a black guy. And it caused a citywide war. I mean, there were just like in Philadelphia in '84, there were bombs and shit. There were, you know, people shooting other people looking for whoever this black guy is that didn't exist.
Wow.
So that's why it's always about race. That's
Right.
why we're
Mhm.
nervous when we walk down the street and the cop comes by and we ain't doing shit. That's why I
Mhm.
keep my hands out of my pocket when I'm in the store. That's
Yep.
why when I go to the store to look for something, I can't find it. I feel weird going out without something because I think they're looking at me like, what's this motherfucker doing right now? That's ingrained
Mhm.
in you from a very early age. As your parents have that talk with you and shit. And that's just the way it is. So, and I said this last week to all the motherfuckers that are like in like Valentine, Nebraska, or you're 10 miles away from where you were born on the kitchen table and you can count how many people of color you know. I don't
Mhm.
want to hear shit from you about
Right.
any kind of race relations at all. Period.
'Cause you
Throw that
know.
question back up there again, real quick. Briefly, because I didn't prepare enough. We'll probably talk about it more next week. Basically, what happened was the son of Rampage Jackson. You guys know who that is?
Mm-mm.
No.
He's an MMA fighter, and he was also, remember when the A Team had that terrible ass movie a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah.
He was the Mr. T character on that.
Okay.
Well, his son is somewhere between 19 and 21. He's a young kid, but apparently a hothead. He trains to fight too. And the story I hear is he got a concussion a couple of days before this incident. That's no excuse. So what happened, and I didn't have any video, I'll have it next week, but he was at a independent pro wrestling event. Turns out that the independent pro wrestling organization is basically like a WWE understudy. It's is he 25 really? Oh, well, still a young man to me. But so anyway, as a school, a lot of these wrestling schools have a promotion where the students are the wrestlers at night, and they bring in veterans and stuff like that. So apparently, the guy he was going to work with, it was big fat white dude with a goatee. He just looked like a bartender or whatever. But apparently, there was going to be a run-in by Jackson's son at the end of the match. He was supposed to slam him, give him some work punches or whatever. Before the event, I don't think the guy knew how much the kid knew about wrestling and working because they had like a little scuffle, like, you don't know who I am. And so he hit him over the head with a beer can, but it was a working hit, which means his fingers were there. The can never hit his head, and you squeeze it, the beer flies out and shit. Well, he didn't like that at all. He didn't sell it. He didn't, the guy was like, are you going to sell it or what? And everybody was like, he's not a worker, dude. He's like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? He's not a worker. And so, it turns out they showed later on that you made up. That he was like, man, I didn't know. I'm sorry. They apologized, hug. He was like, yeah, it's okay. And there's also video a little bit later on of one of the people that was there, one of the workers that was kind of egging him on, like, yeah, make sure you clap his ass when you get in there. So the spot happened, and he got in there, picked him up, slammed him, delivered a real shot to the face that knocked him unconscious.
Oh my God.
21 more real shots on his unconscious face
Oh my God.
before he was pulled off by other wrestlers. The guy is he's got missing teeth, a broken orbital bone, broken jaw. He's in the hospital right now. He's conscious, but that was just,
Wow.
how do you even get involved in a wrestling event without knowing what the hell you're doing?
Right.
How do you as a promoter bring in somebody that isn't trained how to throw working punches and expect him to throw working punches when he's trained to throw real punches on a whim? Because that's, you have that muscle memory when you're trained.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Well-
if somebody's charging me, my first thought is kick because I have these long legs. I mean, you know, I like to kick, and for those of you that don't believe me, I like to kick. And I like to kick with torque. So, you know, that's my instant reaction, but I would know going into a real situation if dude is supposed to be coming at me, you know, give him your body until something feels off. But yeah, I think Gonzo was right. The slam actually knocked him out because you could see his head, you know.
Oh my
And
God.
it didn't even look like that big a slam. I mean, because it was one of those that where you kind of have him over your shoulder and then just kind of drop down with him. His head hit. He was out
Oh.
22 punches in a row.
So
I
now
counted 22.
Why did he hit him so much? if
that's
he
what I was going to say. How did nobody intervene sooner
Oh,
than
they
that?
did, but it took a long time because people weren't. The guy that did intervene said that somebody had told him to stick around just in case something goes down, but he never got the cue as to when what was supposed to go down. So as he was trying to
Wow.
get to the ring as this dude's getting his ass kicked.
Mm.
No, but it would have been. So with that, let's go to part 3 of this story, and then we'll move on to where you put people. Let's try that again. Where you should put people in their drawer. Okay, let me try that one more time. Take 3. Where and what drawers you should put people in. Go with take 3. All right. So take 3. Video 3, and I'm stalling because I can't find it. Okay, here we go. So what is it? A natural cocktail of sense and visual deception? Or something more sinister lingering in the stone? Even now, dog owners in the area are warned. Keep your dogs on a leash when crossing the Overtoun Bridge, because no one knows what might trigger the next leap. Maybe it's just a tragic accident amplified by myth. Maybe we need these stories, these modern ghost tales, to help us make sense of the senseless. Or maybe, just maybe, there are places that call to us from the other side. And sometimes they call to our best friends first. Thanks for crossing this strange bridge with me today on TraneWreck'D. Like, follow, and subscribe YouTube and soon Apple Podcasts. And hit us up on Instagram and Facebook. Do you have a weird story? Drop it in the comments or send me a DM. Until next time, keep your feet on solid ground and your dogs close. Some places just don't want you to leave. There's that Facebook information.
Yep.
If you didn't know, that little jump scare, that was specifically for Tyra.
I had a feeling. I hope she was still watching.
Yeah, if she wasn't, she'll see it on the replay. I'll put it in I'll just get that one clip out and just send it to her. One thing I did forget to mention is very soon, where you see behind JJ's head up there, ad space will be available soon. Details will be coming in the next few weeks. I haven't really figured out what I want, how I want it, but it'll be available soon. And, you know, if you're interested, get with me and we'll talk about a package deal. Looks like Tyra is still here and is crying. Oh, let's see. There was one more thing I wanted to get to. Yeah, I thought I had everything loaded today, and I did, but I took some things out, and I thought I was gonna put them back in there, but I didn't. Give me just a moment here. Oh yeah. One thing I did want to bring up to people is it's amazing to me how many people still watch Fox News and take it seriously. especially when they had a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit that they had to admit that they were just pure entertainment and making shit up.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that some of you people still, take that shit as gospel when they report like this, you know, it's like,
saves it from drowning.
that's the way it is. If it's something that benefits the right, that's how they say it. Now, if it was like the left, they'd have said the fish jumped in his mouth trying to choke him to death.
Yeah.
Stupid shit like that. But we're gonna talk about putting people in the right drawers, because a lot of us, especially when we're young, there's the whole fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And a lot of us are, fawners and don't even know it. Especially people of color who have grown up in, white worlds where you had to, play along to get along. Sometimes it just wasn't worth fighting because you were way outnumbered, or what's the point? They don't give a shit anyway. So with that, you tend to, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, acquaintance, whatever, there's a lot of people that you allow to break boundaries that you forgot to set in the beginning because you were afraid that, maybe they won't like you. Maybe I'm not likable. Maybe that's the only reason they like me is because, I'm not a problem. Well, over the past year, I've been doing a little bit of an experiment, and I know eventually everybody noticed that, I've always been Mr. Positivity, Mr. Happy Guy, Mr. Put on a great smile. And then something happened. And it was last year, right around when I had lost my dog. There was a whole bunch of shit that happened.
Yep.
And a couple of friends, especially one that I had basically, JJ, you know how I am, give the shirt off my back, everything to help this person, everything to make their lives better. And they decided that me grieving took too much time away from what they need. So I wasn't able to be a friend because I was too busy grieving. So that got me to thinking about there's really no such thing as friends. There's people and there's people that you bring into your family, into your circle.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why my circle is so small right now. It consists of everybody on this show, including the producer. It consists of just a few more people that, aren't blood. I have a couple of blood people that are just like that too. My cousin. Thank you, Kung Fu. I'm good though. And then just remember after that, it was the turtle disappeared, the cat disappeared. You're only as happy as your saddest child. And I was noticing that I'm the person that reaches out and checks on everybody.
Would you stop?
At least if I haven't talked to you in a while, at least every couple months, I'm going to check in on you if you mean anything to me. I started noticing that that's not something that's reciprocated from a lot of people.
Nope.
And if you
They
bring
expect it.
Yeah. And if you bring it up, they almost get mad at you. Like, how dare you expect a reciprocal relationship? And so what it made me do was decide to get a little bit nasty just to show that I can. Because I've been such a good guy, so positive, so this and that, but nobody wanted to support any of my ventures. Everybody wanted a discount with everything that I was doing. Nobody took anything I was doing seriously. And so now that I see attached to a few people that have some names, that's exactly right, buddy. Now that I'm attached to people with names, all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of friends that come out of nowhere that wasn't thinking shit about me before. So what I did is first I started eliminating people quietly, because you know how people want to get on social media. Oh, I'm going to clean my list out. You don't need to do all that shit. Just get rid of them. They don't need to know they were gotten rid of.
Right. Yep.
And so what I did is, if I had checked on you twice in the past year, and you either left me on red or I noticed it was red and then you marked it unread, you'll notice that it says add friend next to me now
Mhm.
because I'm just not dealing with that shit anymore. I decided to go hunting for races, bigamous, not bigamous, races, sexes, assholes. I went searching for them and I found them. And the experiment that I was doing with them is to show that just like on the right, the fuck your feelings crowd, the second you say something that they've said to you back to them, they cry like little bitches.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
like, it's okay for you to want to be an asshole to somebody that you think you can bully and that they're not going to do anything back, but that's not me no more. That's, it's just not. So here's the thing. We're going back to being a good guy again. We're going to be Mr. Positive and all that with the caveat that if you decide you want to be an ass, I can turn into an asshole real quick.
Mhm.
And I think we've proved that, haven't we?
Yep.
I've hurt some feelings. And I've noticed that the people that I go after on public screen try to come after me in DMs,
Yep.
and it's funny too because
Because they
what the
don't want
fuck
to
you think?
call.
You think you're scaring me?
Well, yeah. Well, and they don't want to
Like,
show how stupid they are by continuing the conversation
exactly.
with
There's a
you
lot of people that try to
on
come
social
to a
media.
battle of wits and they come unarmed.
Yep.
I'm not the one you want to do that with because I might not even crack back right away. But sometimes a good crack is just like a phone call at 3 a.m. Very unsettling. With that said, this latest friend I set a boundary with her ass because she was just dropping all of her shit. She's crazy, first of all, but just everything that was any conversation had to do with some shit that she needed a friend, she needed an ear, she needed, this or that. And after a while, you get tired of putting up with other people's shit. So I was busy, and a lot of you out there that I love dearly. How often have you heard from me in the past month or so? Not very much, right? Because I've been working on this shit for a long time and I got a lot of shit to do, but I will take the time out after I'm done to say, how you doing or whatever. And at the same time, it works both ways. If you ain't heard from me, maybe check in and see like if I'm all right.
Mm-hmm.
But so I essentially explained that I've been fucking busy. I've been out of town, I've had this and that. And I had a lot of shit that I was, dealing with mentally too, because of all the shit that I was dealing with, just period. I was tired, I was just didn't feel like talking, and so she she texted something stupid like she made some weird assumption that that's the reason I'm not talking to her. And so I kind of lit her up like, look, I'm busy. I got this and that and this going on. And she fires back with that old bullshit that every lonely person in the world has. I just tell it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's code for I'm not mature enough to handle a conversation with somebody without being an asshole because I don't have the communication skills. So she said that. I came back and essentially was like, this is the way I do shit. Um, she told me, quote, I need to quit living off Michelle. I need to get a job with a W-2, a real job, because I'll feel more like a man. Are you people out there that work for somebody else? Do you feel more like a man? Do you feel more in charge?
Right.
And just all this shit. And so eventually I was like, I don't know where the fuck you're coming from with this shit. Your life is shit. You lost your kids. How bad do you have to be the mom?
And
Lose
lose
your
your kids.
kids to the father that just got out of prison and lives with his mama. And those kids hate you so much, they want to change their name.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge awarded that shit. And you had to get a job because you have to pay child support.
Yeah.
So you gave me that whole, I used to be a housewife and now I feel more fulfilled now that fuck you. You have to pay child support.
Yeah, you had to get a job.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Now, not only do my friends love me, I love them back. My kids love me. My kids like me. We
Mhm.
like hanging out with each other. I see my kids every day. You know?
Yeah.
And so she was just pulling a whole bunch of shit out of her ass that really had no idea what she was talking about. And as I tell people, every accusation is a bit of an admission. So I was going to write out a whole speech about this. And then as I was writing it out, I was like, somebody said this exact shit that I'm writing, but they said it better. And here's who it was.
Who he telling me who I am? I know who I am. And see, everybody got somebody that's trying to tell them who the they are. I know who I am. I'm not the nice one. I'm driving now. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. You know you better than anybody else know. And I know me better than anybody else know me too. And they better put some respect on my name because I am the truth. So help me. But I'm not angry. I won't be taken advantage of no more. Things gonna change around here. I'm driving now.
I couldn't have put it any better myself.
Yeah.
And the other thing that people really need to realize is that I'm all the way out with all my skeletons. I'm standing on them. I'll kick them at you. All of you that are coming to other people and telling them how to live their lives because your life ain't shit, there is a door full of skeletons behind you that's bursting at the seams.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, here's a preview of another song I actually wrote, and I wrote the music and everything, but the voice is someone else, as you can tell. So here is part of a video of my newest song, Closets Made of Glass.
I swept the corners, cleared the dust, laid down the weight of broken trust. The past can't haunt a heart made bare. No chains, no secrets tangled there. But the silence knows where the bodies sleep, and your closet groans when the shadows creep. My closet's empty, my mirror's clean. I forgave the ghost of who I've been, but your bones rattle in the night. You lock the door, but I see the light. I held your ruin in gentle hands, covered your tracks in shifting sands.
See, that's all about a lot of people forgot that they told me where the bodies are buried.
Mhm.
Oops.
Yep.
And that lady I was talking about, it's all her court cases that she sent me. And what she doesn't know is contacted her daughter. And I showed her a screenshot.
No,
Exactly.
that's not me.
I can't hear you.
All right, let's see. I showed her a screenshot of exactly what you said. And here's the text she left me. Oops. Did I put a picture up? Oh, oops. Katie with a Y? Last name Davis?
Why would you?
Up.
She's an idiot.
Oh, you fucked up. So, with that said, I can be a dick. I can get in. I can get any kind of revenge. I just choose you're on to do that. But if you want to say some shit like that, you're lucky this is Arizona, because a lot of other states, that shit's illegal.
Yep.
And if I happen to be a minor, or if I happen to have done something to myself, you can go to jail. But that's okay, because, you know, your family has all the shit they need to destroy you. And I feel nothing about that. So, you know, with that said,
How are you gonna tell me who I am?
what's your closing words, JJ?
Go out and be a blessing this week. And if you can't be a blessing, just don't block anybody else's.
Shelbert.
Take care of yourself and take care of others and enjoy your life.
And I will say that, remember, mental illness is real. Words do matter. Luckily, I'm a very, very strong individual. That actually kind of amused me. It shocked me a little, but it amused me. But
It still bothers me.
yeah, it bothers it bothers me that it bothers other people. So come up and says a motherfucker. Join us next week at 7 p.m. Arizona time, Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Remember, tomorrow on the Star Maker Bowling Show, we have Anthony Scaramucci, Star Maker Bowling, possibly Mark Cuban, the father of Never Seen 17-time champion, Cena Senior, and these guys down here. So make sure you join us next week. Make sure you look for the replay tomorrow. A lot of things get cut out of the replays. That's why it's best to come watch us live. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that little subscription button down in the corner, or rewind and go back to one of those QR codes. Until next time, I am the Coltrane for JJ, for Shell, for Christy in the back. Have a good night. See you next week.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coltrane, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of TraneWreck'D. If you did, make sure you're subscribed. Let us know in the comments section. Drop a like, and most importantly, share with others. You can easily subscribe here, watch our past episodes of TraneWreck'D here, and check our latest drops right here. Remember to join us live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Arizona time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Replays the next day by noon Eastern. On behalf of the crew of TraneWreck'D, thank you for watching. Hit the button.